are three types of domains: archaea, eubacteria, and eukarya. Archaea, a domain of life consisting of the oldest, most extreme bacterial organisms. They are unicellular prokaryotic, meaning they have no nucleus or membrane-bound organelles. They were probably the first cells to evolve. They are found in sewage, thermal or volcanic vents, very salty water, hot springs, or deserts. Some examples are thermophilic bacteria, halophilic bacteria, or methanogenic bacteria. Eubacteria consist of newer forms of bacteria commonly seen today, for example, E. coli and MRSA. They're unicellular prokaryotic. Some may cause diseases. They're found in almost every habitat except those with heart conditions. They're important decomposers for the environment. Eukaryota consist of more complex organisms seen to date, for example, plants and animals. Of the three domains, only Eukaryota have been further classified into kingdoms: plant, animal, fungi, protista. They are more complex, have nucleus and membrane-bound organelles. As said before, Eukarya is furthermore split into four kingdoms: Plantae, Animalia, Fungi, and Protista. The Plantae kingdom consists of all the plants that you have come to know. For example, flowering plants, mosses, and ferns. Plants are multicellular and consist of complex cells. They're the second largest kingdom. They are also autotrophs, meaning they make their own food. Animalia is the largest kingdom with over 1 million known species. All animals consist of many complex cells. They are also heterotrophs. They are found in the most diverse environments in the world. Some examples are tigers, dogs, and bears. Fungi, they are multicellular and consist of many complex cells. They cannot make their own food, so they have to obtain it from parts of plants that are decaying in the soil. Some are edible, some can be very dangerous. Some examples are mushrooms, mold, and mildew. Kingdom Protista. Members are so different from one another. Protista include all microscopic organisms that are not bacteria, not animal, not plants, not fungi. Most Protista are unicellular and have complex cells. Some examples are slime molds and algae. Phyla. The four main types of animal phyla include Bryophyta, Felicynophyta, Coniferophyta, and Angiospermophyta. Bryophyta. Usually small and grow in damp places because they have no vascular system to carry water. They reproduce by the way of spores, and these are contained in capsules on small stalks held above the plant. Have no roots, have no cuticle, and absorb water across their whole surface. Some examples are mosses and liverworts. Felicynophyta have roots, stems, and leaves, and possess internal structure. Some have fibrous roots, while others produce an underground stem called a rhizome. They reproduce by producing spores. Some examples are club mosses, horsetails, and ferns. Coniferophyta produce pollen rather than spores, often in huge amounts. They produce seeds which are found in cones and on branches. Most have needle-like leaves to reduce water loss. Some examples are shrubs and trees. Angiospermophyta all have flowers which produce pollen. They all produce seeds which are associated with the fruit or nut. Some examples are flowering plants. The 7 types of animal phyla are Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes, Annelida, Mollusca, Arthropoda, and Chordata. Porifera, different types of cell, but no real organization in tissue or no clear symmetry. They pump water through numerous pores in the body wall and filter out food. No nerves or muscular tissue. Some examples are sponges. Cnidaria. Almost all are marine and have cells organized into tissues in 2 body layers. Feed on other animals by stinging them with a cell called nematocyst and trap them in their tentacles. Their mouths helps them eat and to get rid of weights. Some examples are sea anemones, corals, and jellyfish. Platyhelminthes. They have 3 layers of cells and have a body cavity with a mouth and an anus. Some are free-living in water, while others are parasites living inside other organisms. They have flattened appearance. Some examples are flatworms. Annelida. Some are aquatic and live in rivers, estuaries, and what other inhabit soil. All have bodies divided into sections called segments. All have simple gut with a mouth at one end and an anus at the other. Some examples are segmented worms, lugworms, earthworms, and leeches. Mollusca, second largest animal phylum. Contains over 80,000 species. Many produce an outer shell of calcium carbonate for protection. Some examples are small organisms like slugs and snails, large marine creatures like giant squid and octopuses. Arthropoda comprise the largest animal phylum. All have a skeleton made of chitin, have segmented bodies and jointed lips for walking, swimming, feeding, or something. The skeleton places a restriction on their size. There are over 1 million arthropods known, but there are more that haven't been identified. Some examples are aquatic animals like crabs and lobsters, and terrestrial animals like insects, spiders, and scorpions. Chordata. They have a dorsal nerve cord, which is a bundle of nerve fibers connecting the brain to the organs and muscles. A notochord, which is a rod of cartilage supporting the nerve cord. A post-anal tail. Pharyngeal slits, which are openings connecting to the pharynx to the inside. They may be used as gills. All chordata have these four features at some stage in their lives, but in most vertebrates, they may only be seen in the embryo. Some examples are humans and other vertebrates. There are 5 classes within phyla Chordata, which include birds, animals, reptiles, amphibians, and fish. Birds lay a hard-shelled egg. Egg contains nutrients for the development of their embryos. They have feathers which help birds keep themselves warm. Mammals. The young develop inside the body of the mother and are fed with milk from mammary glands after they are born. They are endothermic and have constant body temperatures. Amphibians. They must reproduce in water. Their eggs are released and fertilized outside the female's body. They are ectothermic. Reptiles. As well as in birds, eggs contain nutrients for the development of their embryos. Their eggs are covered with leathery shells. Reptiles are tetrapod animals in the class Reptilia, comprising today's turtles, snakes, lizards, and their extinct relatives. Fish. They must reproduce in water. The eggs are released and fertilized outside the female body, as well as in amphibians. They are vertebrates that live in water, and they breathe using special organs called gills.
So now we're going to classify an animal and a plant from its domain all the way down to its species. Let's start with the animal, the grizzly bear. Its domain is Eukarya. Its kingdom is Animalia. Phylum Chordata. Class Mammalia. Order Carnivora. Family Orsidae. Genus Orsis and species Arctos. Now we're going to classify the lemon tree. Its domain is Eukarya. Its kingdom is Plantae. Its phylum is Angiospermophyta. Its class is Dicotyledonii. Its order is Geraniales. Its family is Rutaceae. Its genus is Citrus and species Limonia.
Hope you enjoyed and learned a little bit more about how life is around in this place you call Earth. A fun way you can remember what we just reviewed is Dear King Philip came over from Great Spain. Thank you.